Welcome to the podcast. I did drop like an introductory episode for this. This camera's shaking a lot. I did record a little introductory episode for this because called The Beginning of a Journey, or actually The Beginning of a Dynasty. I guess another introduction is in order for the video side. So, hello, I'm Dynasty or Mateo. Low key, I keep it, but this whole entire podcast idea is simply coming from a place of a passion project. All right, we're in my office. This is probably a lot of the setting for the podcast is going to be, and for where all the content making is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So first and foremost, from the introduction. Oh shit! I need to stop shaking the fucking camera. First and foremost, from the introductory episode, just this first episode, it's not going to be super long. Probably all the ones in the future are going to be 10, 20 minutes long. But I just want to use this opportunity to expand upon what the fuck I'm going to do and what the purpose of this whole entire podcast is for. Okay, so I started this podcast with the intention of producing content, creating content, and that whole sphere of it. The whole idea of the DynastyLogs podcast, in its name, logs, is essentially like a log book or a culmination of records for myself, actually, despite if anybody listens or if anybody doesn't listen. But it's a culmination of records for myself from all the wins and the losses that I have in business or whatever I decide to do, because I can't say in business and I don't have a goddamn business yet. Okay, this is something that I'm starting from the ground up, the beginning, but it's actually how I'm seeing it, the foundation for something in the future. You know what I'm saying? So this whole entire podcast thing is set as, or how I'm building it, is the foundation for my whole entire content spectrum, I guess. I'm on the spectrum type of thing. So that's the whole purpose of this. It's setting up the foundation, as I said, for content, and that builds into a whole bunch of things from YouTube to live stuff, but mostly from the YouTube side, because that's really where I'm heading. Is the YouTube shorts and the YouTube videos and everything like that. All that, follow the account, go sub to YouTube, follow me on IG and everything like that. But that's the reason for this, is that it's a foundation for me making more content around all things, because at the time, but when I was thinking of ideas, I really wanted to get into content, I really wanted to get into business, or start my own business. And a lot of the times everyone would say oh, you need to document the process, document you going from here to here, zero to hero type of thing. And I thought to myself, everyone is doing YouTube videos. Everyone is doing, oh, here's how I'm going to make $1 million in a year, or here's how I'm going to get my first client. But in a sense, I don't see many people documenting the process. You could document the process in multiple different ways. The documenting of the process could be podcast form, in a voice format that people could just simply listen to and see what the hell you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that leads into the second point of today's episode, and that is business. And that word is, I'm trying to be all technical and shit here, but genuinely the word business doesn't really mean 100% business. Business could be anything. It could be just you yourself. This is my definition, you yourself, and the things that you do. In the introductory episode, I said, I am a college graduate. I went to school, got my bachelor's and associate's degree in business, or majoring in that field. And throughout, after post-graduation, and while I've been in school, I've made some money in some of my business endeavors, okay? And those business endeavors could be a lot of things, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think anything that makes me money is of some form of business. I've ran a couple of organizations with air quotes back in the day when, and somebody might think it's funny, but I think it's some pivotal stuff, learning how to manage people. I ran little gaming teams and, little groups of folks who made content and everything like that. And, I feel like I'm a more organized person to build a business. And that just went off, computer, all that stuff. But that's the business side of everything. It's that's what this is for. I'm kind of getting sidetracked with it. But business in general is how I see it, anything I'm making money from. And there you go. But sidebar type of thing. Business-wise, the intention of this is to document the process of me building a business, me getting my first client, me sharing my wins and my losses, but also bringing in more people and building a collection and a connection of like-minded individuals. When I say like-minded individuals, it doesn't even have to be in that space. Like-minded individuals is somebody who, again, the whole intention, the whole brand behind this podcast, my personal brand, is the building of a dynasty, is the building of something that is long-lasting and something that someone isn't attaching a monetary value to it. Someone who's not attaching a number to it. Someone who's not attaching like how many views, how many likes. It's simply something that you're doing from out of a passion perspective, because before you even attempt to say you want to make money in something, I feel like you need to have like a genuine, is this something I truly want to do, and is this something I can do every single day and be passionate about? So that's the whole essence of this idea is this is something I'm passionate about, this podcast. Even before I started it, bro, all the ideas of what I wanted to do to bring into reality were already like fucking boiling in my head, getting ready. I was getting ready to cook, bro. So that's where that's coming from, is, you know, building and bringing in a lot of people. And that brings on to another point, you know, alongside this with this podcast is people I want to do collaborations with. And, you know, first things first, like in some businesses that you start, or if you just look it up on the internet of like, oh, I want to start doing this, I'm going to get my first client. One of the main things that is mentioned, no matter what you do, is warm connections. And you can look that up, not look that up, you can find them like pretty much any business related or any agency model type of thing that people are doing now to make money is using a warm connection. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is using my warm connections to get people onto my show. And I ask them and I talk to them about, you know, why they started this and why exactly they're doing a certain thing and like what do they plan to build. Because like I said, simple as put, I'm building this podcast simply from the perspective of I want to bring in other people or connect with other people whose main sole intention is to build something long lasting and something that they love, like a fucking dynasty. Because a dynasty is something that's long lasting. That's my name. And I want to build something long lasting, you know what I'm saying? So that's what the whole intention is. So for collaborations, I want to bring in a lot of people who I know personally who are creatives in their own interdirective spaces, if that's the right word. I have some friends and some people around me who are in like the photography niche. I have some people who want to be producers, who want to be artists, who want to be jewelers and that type of thing. And some of those people are extremely passionate about things that they do, and that's where this is all coming from. Okay, and then leading in, I guess, to the next second part. That again, this still revolves around that business oriented like conversation, but it leads now into the content area of this whole entire thing. So as I stated before in the beginning, like this whole entire podcast, truth be told, is going to be content in itself. Okay. So from the visual video format of the podcast, you know, these podcast episodes aren't going to be like 2 hours, an hour long. They're only going to be 10 to 20 minutes on average, because it's just starting. And I think I just want to get my message out there and, you know, off rip, keep it consistent, keep that 10 consistent minutes. Because I'm just recording this. This is going to be posted on the internet and I have like anxiety and shit. That's so stupid to say. But you know, that type of thing. And a lot of people can get that around their head. Like, yo, you're posting something on the internet. There you go. But this is something I truly want to do. And this is something I really want to get to. But moving forward with that, it's like, you know, from the video format, this is all going to be posted on YouTube, TikTok, IG, Shorts, you know what I'm saying? And then even like the longer versions of it will be posted on YouTube alongside, like on my main channel. Check the profile on Spotify, you know what I'm saying? Spotify, all the episodes are going to be all the podcast episodes are going to be dropped on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And then, you know, I'm just going to run it up and promote the fuck out of my podcast because that's what I'm doing, you know? But again, back. Okay, sidebar conversation. We're back on the main conversation, which is content. So, you know, I really want to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And that's from the background, man. Like, oh, here's an episode. Like, oh, we're making, here's a, POV behind the scenes of the making of a podcast episode, and incorporate some vlogs and everything like that. And that's really the direction I'm heading. We'll also documenting the process and speaking about the businesses that I start and the businesses that I run and the clients that I hope I will sign in the future. You know what I'm saying? Because I worked at it. I'll sign some clients. Shit, who knows? I might get a couple clientele up in the podcast niche, bro. Dominate this industry type of thing. But that's the whole intention behind it, content wise, is to make my whole entire brand personality about this podcast and bringing people on the podcast and talking about what you can do with this kind of thing, essentially. And that's the whole idea behind it. And then I have some notes here, so 1 second. Let's look this out. I'm pretty sure, I spoke upon all of it is, content, business, and why the fuck I'm doing this in the first place. I'm new to this. I don't even know what the hell to talk about. But, that's what we're going to do type of thing. So, after talking about that, look forward to a lot more videos and stuff in the future. A lot of other episodes will actually have like a whole, structure to them. It's just, I don't want to overcomplicate things while talking about podcast stuff and then not posting anything and so on and so forth. So I really want to say, follow along the journey. If anyone out there, you're interested in the show, interested in coming on, hit me up, shoot me a DM. I'm probably going to DM so many people just to bring people on my show because that's the intention behind it. And we'll run it up from there. Hey, all I got to say, bro, look forward to some spectacular fucking things, vlogs and everything else like that, bro. I have a feeling this is all gonna work. I'm gonna make it, bro. On the dead ones. I'm gonna make it, trademark that on the dead ones. But thank you for listening. This was the DynastyLogs podcast. I'm your host, Dynasty. Y'all have a good, wonderful day.